Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're going for a ride and a chat. I will tell you, I have had so many strange dreams that actually end up being past life information, and I think that is kind of the cool, crazy part about it, because past lives are something that not everybody can see. Everybody can get to see, so it's one of those you can get there. It's just learning how to meditate and kind of getting into that energy and relaxing the mind of this life enough where you can see your past life. And I will tell you that past lives really affect more people than you can ever possibly imagine. They come in some very interesting ways, and usually have a lot to do with why we have those weird fears about things, and things that don't make sense for any other reason come in usually from a past life. And that's kind of like the crazy cool part. I will tell you, it's kind of like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. The things that just don't make any sense, that literally affect you, have fears. It's one of those, sometimes fear of judgment, sometimes fear of criticism. Sometimes it can even be like fear of disappointing somebody, or being called out on something. So I think that's one of those interesting parts. But I will also tell you that that's really the hard part about past lives, because usually when I start talking about past lives, people say, well, tell me about my past life. So if I'm doing this face-to-face on a one-on-one appointment, that's not a big deal. That's easy. It's usually when you get into a group setting of everybody wants to know about their past lives, or they want to know how they're connected to their past lives, or what fears come up from their past lives. Well, if you're doing in a group of like 10 to 30 people, that doesn't go over too well, because everybody's like, tell me about me, and tell me what I can understand, or what can I relax about in this life, because it really comes in from a past life. And I will tell you, that is kind of the crazy, weird part the most of past lives, is when you start talking about it, people want to understand their past lives and what affects them in their past life today. And so that's kind of the interesting part. It's funny, weird, but I will say it's also kind of like one of those interesting energies of, you have to understand the energy that you're going through, what you're dealing with, and how does that affect you. And anything that doesn't make sense in this life, a fear that like you've never had this before in a past life, or in this life, usually comes in from a past life. And that's kind of the best way to put it, is fears that don't make sense. Fears of, being choked, fears of someone coming up behind you, fears of being overjudged, or like not wanting to judge other people, like so much so not wanting to judge anybody that they almost like anti-judge. Does that make sense? And so all of those kind of weird things, plus a whole lot more, comes in from your past life. And I will tell you, most people have anywhere from like 10 to 15 past lives that affect them every day, sometimes multiple times a day. But I will tell you that for the most part, it's usually about 10 to 15 lives that affect each of us at least 10 to 15 times a day. I know, interesting. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.